Hey Thrones fans, this is Adam from the Oklahoma board game community, and today we are bringing you game one of our first recorded game night kit tournament. We're going to have Night's Watch, Banner of the Kraken on the left, and we're going to have Martell Fealty on the right. Night's Watch having a pretty solid setup of the Unsworn Apprentice, the Reducer, Raiding Longship, and the Iron Throne for dominance. And Martell Fealty bringing out the Bastard Daughter, Edric Dane, and the Dornish Paramour. Also Sunspear, the locations down there. A few of these we want to touch on probably are going to be the Bastard Daughter over there, a 1 strength, 1 icon military. However, when she's killed, she's basically winning an intrigue challenge for the losing player. As she's placed into the dead pile, the attacking player must discard 1 card at random. Also, Sunspear on the Martell side. Anytime he loses a challenge, he can kneel Sunspear to increase the claim of his own challenges of that type. So if he loses military or intrigue later, he can kneel it and come back with a 2-claim challenge. So opening plots are going to be the Winds of Winter for our Night's Watch player and a Noble Cause for the Martell player prior to draws. Winds of Winter is an interesting opening plot. It has 2 claim, and it's going to be a little bit of a lower gold value. But that 2 claim, he's hoping to come out and kill 2 characters early. Marshalling Asha Greyjoy for 2 by sacrificing the King's Road early. Very nice. Asha Greyjoy, of course, has stealth, 2 icons, military, and a power with 4 strength. Anytime she wins an unopposed challenge, she will stand back up. Pass to Martell for marshalling. So Martell, like we said, has Noble Cause out there, reducing the cost of the First Lord or Lady by 2. Though we are losing a gold from them because Night's Watch has played a meager contribution and taken 1 gold from their income to their own. Great card, sometimes reduces the tempo on the other player's side. So we see a Littlefinger hit the board, only paying 3 for him, reduced by a Noble Cause. Littlefinger adds 1 gold to the income for the rest of the game while he's on the board, as well as he allows you to draw 2 cards as he's marshaled, which I'm actually not seeing him do here. And then he marshals the Dornish Paramour. He does not draw 2 cards for Littlefinger in this game, which that is unfortunate. So the cards you see him drawing are for the Dornish Paramour. Dornish Paramour, when marshaled, allows you to look at the top 2 cards and keep 1, putting the ones you don't take onto the bottom in whatever order you'd like. So he did miss 2 card draw here. First challenge, unopposed military challenge by stealthing the Bastard Daughter. And interestingly enough, Martell player decides to kill 2 of the green blood traders instead of triggering the Bastard Daughter here. So you have an intrigue challenge coming in, 1 strength, chosen to block and win by the Martell player. So now we're just discussing what icon we're going to place on the Unsworn Apprentice. We do end up settling on a military icon. And then we use Asha to initiate a power challenge, which is going to be unopposed. Edric Dane could gain an icon, however, he doesn't have any gold remaining. So Asha will gain that unopposed again, and now we're sitting at 2-0 for the unopposed challenges this phase. So it passes challenges to the Martell player. Who, with no gold, will just go ahead and pass, giving dominance to the Night's Watch. And I may have said Greyjoy here in the past. That combination's throwing me off a little bit. So now, after the dominance phase, we're going to discard down to our hand size. So dropping an Unsworn Apprentice on the Night's Watch side, and no discard needed on the Martell side. Again, that's primarily going to be because he forgot the 2-card draw off of Littlefinger. All right, so plots going into round 2. We have naval superiority coming out on the Night's Watch side, and the long plan coming out on the Martell's side. Naval superiority, he was probably hoping to hit a kingdom or an edict, which blanks the gold value on those cards. Unfortunately, that did not work. The long plan is immune to naval superiority. So unfortunately, Night's Watch will be stuck with 2 gold and no real effect out of that plot. And the long plan will allow him to gain 1 gold each time he loses a challenge, and he will not have to return any of that gold to the gold pool after the entire phase is over. So Night's Watch marshals a Messenger Raven. The Messenger Raven comes out for free due to being reduced by that veteran builder, Steward at the Wall there, which is their reducer. Messenger Raven is the Night's Watch's draw card and is pretty valuable here. Only downside to it is you have to pick it up to draw, and so that puts 2 cards in your hand instead of just 1. And then you're also seeing the Lord Sport Shipwright. So in the marshalling phase, you can kneel that to kneel a location. He has chosen not to do that here. He's just using it for the intrigue icon. So Martell has marshaled so far 1 dupe of Edric Dane. Just keeping him safe, keeping him on the board. He still has quite a bit of gold left. Hasn't spent any yet. And then putting Nymeria Sand down for 5. So we do see that marshalling action trigger to kneel Sunspear, keeping that from being utilized this round. Back to Nymeria Sound here. Nymeria has no challenge icons, very similar to the Unsworn Apprentice. However, she can steal an icon of her choice, and it grants it to herself and any other Sand Snake, which the Bastard Daughter is. He is pulling the military icon from Asha. So no military icon on Asha. Military icon will go to Nymeria. Again, with Martell ending at 0 money, he will be unable to utilize Edric in this challenge. So Night's Watch challenges, he gives a military icon to the Unsworn Apprentice and initiates a military challenge of 2. Which we are leaving unopposed, giving the 4th power to Night's Watch and killing a dupe of Edric Dane. power challenge comes in with Asha stealthing Littlefinger. So he should have nothing on the board to oppose. Unopposed will trigger to stand Asha, and the unopposed bonus will go out there to make it 5-0. Passing challenges to Martell. Only 2 characters standing, though, with Asha and the Messenger Raven. So now the reason you do see 2 gold out there is he has lost 2 challenges, so triggering the long plan. So Martell swings in with a military challenge on the Bastard Daughter. Unopposed due to Asha no longer having a military icon. And we are claiming the Reducer. So claiming that Steward at the wall. And we have an Intrigue challenge coming in with Littlefinger, also triggering the unopposed bonus, bringing it 5-2. And we're going to lose a card here. He pulled Yorn out of his hand, a 3-cost character, allowing you to steal a 2 or lower cost character from the discard pile of your opponent. So it's actually a pretty good pull for the Intrigue. So I think we're just thinking about what we're going to do here, trying to decide if we're giving a power icon to Edric Dane, discussing the stealth on the board with Asha, so he wouldn't be able to get through 1 strength of 4. So we are passing here, choosing not to do a power challenge. Dominance will go to the Night's Watch player, bringing it 6-2, and he did pull the Messenger Raven up off the board to draw a card. And the reason Dominance is going to him here, I know you see 4 power standing with Numeria and 1 power with Edric, but we're back to the Iron Throne here on the Night's Watch side, which is 8 strength to Dominance. Doesn't do anything else, but it does contribute 8 strength to Dominance, and it technically gives you an additional card in reserve, so you can hold an extra card in your hand, which sometimes does become an issue for Night's Watch, who tends to hold a lot of cheap cost characters. So plots into round 3. We see a Calling the Banners on Night's Watch side and a Heads on Spikes on the Martell player's side. Since Martell has lower power, even though they tie on initiative, Martell will get to determine first player and chooses himself, also choosing his plot to go off first. Wow. So that is probably very painful here. You see Heads on Spikes hitting Varys, which is a board clear mechanism in Dominance. Can choose to discard all characters without duplicates on the board and basically reset the game. I believe that that is what this Night's Watch Kraken deck is predicated on, and so having him die early is pretty crippling. So Heads on Spikes is a really tough plot for me here. It's typically just a free Intrigue challenge, which is fine, but it's such a high variance. Sometimes it does almost nothing for you, and sometimes it wins games. I personally prefer more consistent plots, but it does have its place and is very popular in some of the northern metas. Down here, it is pretty rare. So you see 4 gold on calling the banners. Just due to calling the banners effect, that 4 gold populates immediately before the draw phase. And marshalling will be occurring for Martell now. So kneel fealty to reduce. And when I say kneel fealty to reduce, for those of you who are unaware, when running fealty, if you're marshalling a loyal card, you can kneel your house to reduce the cost of that card by 1. So initially you see him play one of his income cards. Then they basically discuss the actual triggers of that. The income of the card he was attempting to play is predicated by how many plots are in your used pile. Since this is only the 3rd round, it would only have 2 gold in the used pile. So he does still use that reduction to marshal Doran Martell out there for 5. Doran is an amazing card. He's a lord that increases the strength of each lord and lady by the number of plots in the discard pile. That does not trigger on himself, but it'll trigger on Edric Dane, and it will trigger on any other Martell lord. So it is going to miss Littlefinger, even though Littlefinger is a lord. On the Night's Watch side, we're going to see a ranging party come out here. A 5 strength character, military and power icons, no attachments outside of weapon because it is an army. That's a pretty common theme we see with armies. They can hold weapons, nothing else can be attached. You can't milk an army, not an entire army. It looks like after marshalling those 2 cards, we got the Messenger Raven, his drawback on the board. We're going to sit on 4 gold. So we're now seeing Martell play Confinement. This is a 1 cost event. It actually removes all icons from the chosen character. So he's confined to Asha. Asha will have no icons for the entire phase. So now we're granting Edric Dane a military icon. So he's coming out, stealthing the ranging party, which is going to result in an unopposed unless the Night's Watch player would like to grant Unsworn a military icon. He would still lose due to Doran Martell. However, he's not going to grant that. Let it go unopposed and claim that Messenger Raven. So we're going to lose the draw. So with that unopposed, though, we bring the score up to 6-5. So we're going ahead to trigger Nymeria Sand. Using her ability to steal an icon, and he is stealing power from the ranging party and then initiating a power challenge with Littlefinger. So this is the power of control out of Martell. At this point, that was 2 unopposed challenges. We have the icons on the board, but we're losing them left and right with Confinement and Nymeria Sand. It looks like final challenge we're going to do. We are going to commit to that 3rd challenge and give an intrigue. Choosing whether a block or not. So he does block with the shipwright. Still wins, but denies him that unopposed power. And we pull the second Messenger Raven from his hand. So I'm sure he claimed it, counting on putting a new one back down for draw later. Losing them both in one turn. Passing to Night's Watch for challenges. So we see almost immediately a military for 5 come in, defended with 1 strength and claiming the Black Bastard Daughter. So here's that free intrigue. Gotta love that card. And we pull the King's Road. So 1 gold, kneel and sacrifice to reduce the cost of the next card marshaled by 3. Character marshaled. It's probably a pretty big loss. I don't know what he's holding in his hand, though. At this point, he's pretty low on cards. So we did see him grant intrigue to the Unsworn Apprentice, claiming a long plan. Long plan is kind of a closer for Martell. And so basically winning a challenge by 5 or more can kneel his house to gain that many power. Well, as many power as you won over 5, I believe. Or potentially as many plots are in the discard piles. I'll flash that up on the screen, so you guys will be able to see that here. We do have dominance go to our Night's Watch player, though, due to sanding Asha. Blazingly fast here. So into round 4, we've got March to the Wall on Night's Watch and a second head to spikes on the Martell side. So March to the Wall, both players choose a character to discard from play. This is important. It is a discard and not a kill. So we've got the Shipwright being marched to the wall, and we have Littlefinger marched to the wall. So that's going to reduce the gold he's going to grab this turn. Heads on spikes hits a character. It is just an Iron Island Fishmonger, but a character all the same. So you're going to gain 2 power for that immediately, grabbing a character. It's not going to hurt too bad, though, as far as what character he got. At this point in the game, that would be primarily used for a chump block or just general chud for military claims. What I mean by that is it's cheap. It's a body you don't care too much about being out there. And he is playing Yorin, so here's the second copy of Yorin. Intrigued this out earlier, keeping it discarded. Second copy allows him to steal a 2 or lower cost character, which he chose Edric Dane. So now we have the income card we were talking about last time. It is in Doran's name. A 0 cost event, gaining 1 gold per discarded plot. And so we have 3 discarded. He's going to gain 3, total of 8 this turn. It's going to put the Red Viper on the board. The Red Viper is a Lord, so he is going to trigger from the increased power you're seeing from Doran. So he starts out at a very high power of 7. He's going to be 10 right now with those additional plots. So as we pass the challenges, they're discussing if we want to go ahead and trigger Nymeria. Both of them are sitting on 1 gold. So we've got the same steal as last time. We've got a military coming off of Asha. Actually, not the same steal, so we can find her last time, but we are getting military taken off of Asha. So Night's Watch challenges. He's going to immediately spend that gold, giving Edric a military icon. Edric has stealth, And we're going to swing in for 6, stealthing the red viper. So since Edric does trigger the +3 from Dorn Martell, you could use him in conjunction with Nymeria to win with 8, and it does look like he's going to swing in and do that. I apologize, 11. Nymeria also gets the +3. Actually, I'm not sure she does. I'm not sure she's a lady off the top of my head. So she would not, actually. That would just be 8, but it would still be enough. He's kneeling the raiding longship as a first player to kick Nymeria's strength out either way. So he is going to end up winning that military challenge. And claim is going to be Edric Dane. Now no longer gold, sitting on either of their houses. Got some challenge math going on here with 10 strength currently on the Viper due to Doran. And the Viper's power is for every 5 strength you win by, you're going to gain a power on him. Similar to Renown, but he does not have the Renown keyword. You must win by 5 or more to gain any power on him. Not too difficult to do with 7 base strength. So we're initiating an intrigue challenge with the Unsworn Apprentice here. Martell's going to let it go unopposed, so we gain power for unopposed, and we're claiming out a card here, which is just going to be the House Dane Knight. House Dane Knight, solid character, a military and intrigue, 2 strength for 2 gold. He's your generic Bicon. Each of the houses have him. Starks have our favorite Tumblestone Knight, which you might have seen in the alt arts recently. And we are getting a 4 strength power challenge coming through here with Asha. And we're going to be stealthing Doran Martell, forcing him to block with the Red Viper if he wants to block. So he wins by 6 here. Since he wins by more than 5, he's going to go ahead and gain a power. Night's Watch will be out of challenges. I'm going to have an intrigue challenge coming in here. So gaining a card for Insight off of Doran. Insight is the keyword that allows you to draw. So Martell gains a card, and I'm not really sure why we did intrigue there. Possibly just I wasn't paying enough attention. I feel like he could have done power for unopposed. It's possible he just wanted to get rid of the only card left in our Night's Watch player's hands. Dominance does go to Night's Watch here, so we're sitting at 9-10. Going into the 5th round, and now we're just top decking on Night's Watch side, as he says he has no cards. So we're seeing a second March to the Wall on Night's Watch, and we are seeing a Wildfire Assault on Martell. So it looks like we're choosing to trigger the March to the Wall first. because we have initiative on Night's Watch side. The reason you're going to care about how these trigger, March to the Wall is going to cause you to discard a character, then Wildfire will trigger, forcing you to kill characters down to 3. Since Wildfire does not affect the Martell player at all, we don't want to end up with 2 characters on the Night's Watch side, and he's chosen that correctly here. So in marshalling, we've got Samwell Tarley hitting the board. Single strength insight, but he does have that intrigue keyword, so now he also has intrigue. Winning a challenge with a character with intrigue allows you to draw, as we discussed with Doran. We're just seeing the Desert Scavenger, which is Martell's reducer, hit the board for their marshalling. 1 cost, 1 strength power icon. Kneel to reduce the cost of the next Martell character played. So he is going to use it to reduce and play Ariane for 5. For 4. So Ariane allows you to bring her back to your hand to play another character of 5 cost or lower. What's great about this card is you can initiate a challenge with Ariane, win or lose it however you'd like, and then immediately swap her out for another character. With no icon theft this time, we're getting a military challenge coming through with Asha. He is choosing not to stealth here. So single claim. Basically he's trying to bait him into defending with the Red Viper here. This seems pretty unique to me. He is immediately using Ariane's ability without using her for any challenges to avoid kneeling. We've got Ario Hota out there. So maybe a little bit behind here. It looked like he took unopposed power and a claim, but he ambushed Ario in, and it looked like he defended with him. He did. Okay, he ambushed Ario in to defend, and then we triggered the raiding longship to kick Ario back out of the challenge being unopposed, triggering Asha to stand and giving him that unopposed power. So again, raiding longship, got to remember that location over there. When you're the first player, kneel the raiding longship to kick a character with 5 or less strength out of a challenge. They no longer contribute their strength. So they stay knelt, no longer contributing. So we now see 1 gold paid to Edric Dane, and gaining in a power challenge. That's going to have power on both, triggering stealth on both the Red Viper and Doran Martell, so preventing him from defending at all. And that's going to give him 1 for unopposed, 1 for claim, and subtract a power from our Martell player. So we're sitting at 12-9. And I believe we're passing to Martell here. So Martell swings in, single challenge, power of 15. So Night's Watch defends with 9. Either way, we're winning by at least 5. So his claims 2 because of Sunspear. Knelt it when he lost the power challenge. Night's Watch is going to lose 2. He's going to gain 2 for claim. 1's going to go out there on the Red Viper for winning by more than 5. And dominance will go back to Night's Watch. So interesting turn. Ending at 11-12. This is a solid game. Lots of back and forth here. Looking at our last 2 plot choices on both of them. Comes less of a difficult decision as we run out of plots. So we have summons on the Night's Watch side and counting coppers on the Martell side. Both card draw focused. Summons allows you to trigger drawing 10 cards and selecting the character you want out of the top 10. You do have to reveal this to your opponent. Counting coppers just allows you to draw 3 cards. So basically, once you go through the draw phase, you've drawn 5 this turn instead of the normal 2. Both solid cards used to refill your hand or just grab something you need towards the end here. Not sure what I think Night's Watch is looking for. Maybe a Theon. Or a Benjen. I was wrong. It looks like we're putting Ghost out. Well, putting Ghost into our hand. So Ghost has a unique form of stealth. Ghost's stealth basically applies permanent stealth in the round. If you stealth a character, that character remains stealthed through all challenges. He's got relatively low strength, but that's a pretty solid power. He only has a power icon, which is his downside, and he's 3 cost to play. So in marshalling, we're seeing a Rose Road hit the table on Night's Watch side, giving him a bit of economy for the rest of the game. Maybe a bit too late to see it. It's 1 gold each marshalling phase after, and I'm going to guess this round and 1 more. So marshalling for Martell, we're looking at fealty pretty hard here. Counting coppers is a low gold plot. I apologize, we had not passed yet. We're kneeling the Sea Tower to reduce the cost of, and paying 3 to put Theon out there. So I was right. We were probably looking for a Theon, but we already had him in hand, so wasn't a problem. Pulled a Ghost out of there, knowing he had Theon already in hand. So Theon, similar to Asha, when he wins an unopposed challenge instead of standing, though, he gains renown. So now we are officially passing to Martell. Martell's going to dupe Ario Hota here. Probably just get some claim soak. While I'm a fan of Ario, he is not necessary to keep around that hard. He's a 5 strength military only, not a lord, has a solid ambush effect. When ambushed in during a challenge, he has the same effect as the raiding longship. He'll eject another character of your choice from the challenge. We've got a Gaston Grey hitting the board. Gaston Grey, one of the nastiest cards out of Martell. When in a challenge, you can kneel and sacrifice Gaston Grey to remove a character from that challenge and place it back in the opponent's hand. So if you're challenging with your best military icon character, maybe you've got a Jaime on the board, something with a lot of renown, Not only can he remove you from the challenge, he can put it back to your hand, losing all of that renown. And then, oh, the brutal that just happened. He used his final 2 gold to confine and remove icons from Asha and Theon. So he's seen all 3 confinements of this game. And that means basically Asha and Theon, they're just standing around contributing power for dominance here. That's rough. It's as if those characters are just not here. And they're probably his most important 2 on the board. So it's going to be a rough round. It'll probably or possibly finish out Martell here. So challenges now to Night's Watch. We do still have a gold for potential use of Edric Dane. And I come in Intrigue of 1 with Sam. Deciding whether to let him through here or not. If he does let him through, he's going to draw a card for the insight. I think that's what he's picking up and looking at. Trying to decide if that's worth it for him. In my opinion, we're probably trying to bait the defend with really any characters. If he defends, he's going to get some unopposed here with stealth off of Idric. This is a pretty tough decision. He is going unopposed, which is going to gain a power 4 and discard Sirio. Sirio's a solid card, but I don't think we're going to see him. We weren't going to see him see any play anyway. So 12 to 12. 2 challenges left here. He's gonna. Yeah, he's mentioning he just needed that renown to win. Renown and stealth. By letting him through here, he's going to be able to oppose anything, including the stealth. There's no way he's going to be able to get through with Edric. There's 5 cards in the discard pile, so we're looking at a 7+5 on your Red Viper. So you got 12 strength on the Red Viper. He gains a power for every 5 he wins by. Doran doesn't gain any of that strength, so he's still sitting at 4. I think he's just looking for a way around this, trying to see if he can stop him from winning out the challenges. So he's going to go ahead and grant Edric military, stealthing the Red Viper. So he's blocking with Ario to defend. Raiding Longship, immediately kicking Ario back out to give him unopposed. So we are going to go to 13 power on our Night's Watch side. But we're pretty much a power challenge away here. So he does go ahead and use Gaston to send Edric Dane back to hand. Since this is a stolen card, instead of going back to the Night's Watch player's hand, it's just going to go to the discard pile of Martell. That's the card it belongs to. That's the player it belongs to, and so it goes back to the owning player. So I'm going to guess we're looking at an unopposed intrigue challenge with Doran and a power challenge. Yep, and a power challenge with the Red Viper, and that should finish us out. But we are going to go ahead and attack with the raiding party on Night's Watch side. Before we pass challenges, so he's not going to have any standing cards that can defend. Remember, Asha and Theon are confined. So we just have defense with the Red Viper here. So initiated a 5 challenge, defended by 12. So he's just going to gain 1 power. He wins by 5, but not by 10. Sitting at 13. And then we're going to do a power challenge. It'll be unopposed. So he's going to get 1 power for unopposed and 1 power for claim. That's going to finish us out 13-15. Really close game. Very well played by both players. Got a couple triggers missed here, both on my part and on theirs. But I think it's a great game. They're just talking about hoping one or the other made a mistake there at the end. But solid players. So I just want to thank all of you for watching here. This is our first set of videos for the Oklahoma board game community. So bear with us as we learn the ropes and get everything going. If you like the content we've got, leave us a comment down below and give us some feedback about what you'd like to see in the future.